Okay, so in this chapter, we look at the back rank checkmate. It's not essentially a tactics, but a very common method of achieving a checkmate, where the either the queen or the rook gives a checkmate on the last rank. So we look at this very simple position. The rook goes all the way up to b8, and the escape squares of the black king are blocked by its own pawns, and the simple checkmate. This is known as a back rank checkmate. Can only be done using a rook or a queen. Okay, so we'll quickly see a few examples. Here also, black king is in a similar position as the last example, restricted to the last rank because of its own pawns in front. Okay, so here we have the queen, and there's only one way to give a check, so not so difficult. And I take the queen all the way to b8, and we achieve the back rank checkmate. A very common method of checkmating the opponent king, particularly after it has completed castling. Okay, so let us see the next one. Okay, so here we have a few more pieces. Let us see what is so unique about this position. The rook can go here, give a check. The knight is basically preventing the defense of the last rank by the rook on b8. And in this case, a pawn has moved. Okay, so it looks like there's some space for the black king to escape. But unfortunately, the escape square is under the watchful eyes of the bishop on f5. So when I actually make this move, it turns out to be a checkmate because the king cannot go here because the h7 square, the only escape square, is under attack by the bishop. So again, it's a back rank checkmate. Okay. Again, I'll say it is achievable only by using a rook or a queen. Next one. Yeah. Interesting, very simple and very common method of checkmating the king. And again, we see the pawn have moved a bit, right? And it looks like there's a escape square, but again, the bishop is controlling that square, and when I do make this capture, turns out to be a checkmate because the king is in the last rank. Again, unique name to this checkmate, the back rank checkmate. The king cannot come up because of the presence of the black bishop on h3. Okay, let us go to the next one. Very interesting example. Here black has more material, right? So if we count pieces, rook for the rook, and black has the queen for the knight. So very good position for black if it was not for this back rank checkmate. Now again we see the square h7 is under control of the knight on g5, and again a simple check will be a checkmate, right? Not so difficult, simple to understand. I included this in tactics chapter because it is one of the most common methods of checkmating the castled king, and it is always important to know the pattern. Okay, so in this case, again similar position what we saw for the black king in the last few examples, restricted by its own pawns. And here I have the opportunity to sacrifice my rook, will capture the knight even though it is supported by the other knight. The black knight captures back, and there we go, achieving a checkmate. Okay, very simple topic. We'll see the last example. Okay, I made it slightly tricky here. Now see, I'll help you think through this a bit. Now, for the back rank checkmate, right, I need to take the rook here, correct? But in this case, the queen will capture me. If I capture again, the rook will again capture me, right? So, though there is an opportunity to do a checkmate, I cannot do it directly. Okay, so how do I reduce the amount of defenders for the whites last rank? This will achieve by making a sacrifice. Very interesting example. So I have my queen here. I'll go ahead and capture the rook. Okay. Queen captures back. Now the amount of defenders, earlier there were two defenders. Now there's only one. Now my trick works. I take the rook here. The queen captures and I capture it again, achieving a checkmate. Right? Very interesting. We'll look at this example again. There is an possibility of a back rank checkmate. The king is restricted by the pawns and by the presence of the black bishop. There are two defenders, right? Two defenders of the last rank. So immediately I cannot take the rook here. So what do? I make a sacrifice, reducing one of the defenders. And though I give up the queen for the rook, that is okay because finally I am able to achieve a back rank checkmate. Okay, very interesting. I encourage you to go through these examples again. Very simple topic and will help you to recognize this pattern and you'll be able to do many checkmates. Okay. With this, we'll go to the next lesson. I'll see you there.